Hello there! Recently, the US government has released the Epstein files.
What the is this piece of shit?
And with how bad of a job they've done trying to protect PDF files in the PDF files by giving us cognito hazard level SCP redacted documents, I thought to myself, could Joseph's Joestar somehow reveal the truth behind this black abyss? I've come up with a hypothetical way for JoJo to uncover and potentially reveal the truth behind the infamous Epstein files, but also keep in mind that more information could come out that could change how this scenario could unfold in the future. Now, Joseph isn't particularly new to detective work, as that was the entire plot of Stardust Crusaders. Joseph, using his stand, Hermit Purple, was able to use its ability of spirit photography to create an image of Dio, which they used to track him down to his exact location in Cairo, Egypt. Now, we've seen from the few documents they've released that aren't censored to hell and back, that the files and photos from the Epstein case are stored somewhere. There are basically two options I can imagine for Joseph getting the truth of these cases revealed, and that is using Hermit Purple to alter the digital documents if it was edited in a software, or if the original physical documents were disposed of, or track the files down in person following a string of connections to the location. If he were to do this, he may be able to track the person who is responsible for censoring the documents themselves, or knowing how involved many government officials were with the island, interrogate someone using Hermit Purple to read their thoughts to get the truth. In this first scenario, I feel like it could just be as simple as Hermit Purple projecting the digital documents on a computer or TV screen and literally decensoring the text using the spiritual intent of the typer or something like that. If that's possible, he could simply just make copies of that text with the real names of all who were involved and anonymously distribute it online and socially through news outlets and other places you could think of, so it won't be taken down by the government. Apparently, many of the censored PDFs are already able to be uncensored by just copy and pasting it into a text file, so I don't think it'll be that much of a stretch if it basically is already possible. The other option, which requires a lot more effort, will have Hermit Purple create an image projection of anything that could lead to a connection on someone who was involved with the island. Going for high-level names like high-ranking government officials, celebrities, and billionaires probably wouldn't be the best because they'll have a lot of security, which, don't get me wrong, Joseph could take out some dudes with guns, but seeing the lengths they went to silence old Jeffrey boy makes me think that we should go in with a bit more caution at first so we don't make it harder on Joseph right at the beginning. There were no shortage of individuals a part of the whole scheme, so I'm sure it wouldn't be too difficult using flight logs, pictures, or some emails to get the name of a financer, then connect it to a yacht that was linked to a company, which then connects to a random picture that Hermit Purple conjures that leads to some random worker on the island that went under the radar, then connects some more dots using that Joestar intuition to track that person down, then get on with the interrogations. Hermit Purple apparently has the ability to read thoughts, which he can use to find his way to the truth of the inner workings of what was going on that island. Eventually, he'll discover the right places to go for more evidence like he's doing a BuzzFeed Unsolved, and then he'll find whatever government FBI location they've got the info at, and he'll be able to sneak in to be able to retrieve the physical folders to uncensor later. If the physical still exists, that is. Now, I know that all of the evidence isn't just in one place labeled Epstein files in all caps, and I'm not gonna pretend like I know what kind of government facilities or buildings they've got the files in, or that I know how easy it is to break into where they can be. So I'll just list a bunch of options and you can pick whichever you think makes the most sense for him to do for his multiple extraction missions. Number 1, impersonation. Joseph pretends to be an FBI agent. This will only work if he has someone's badge or whatever IDs they use, and that nobody recognizes his face as different, unless he uses the help of, depending on the timeline, someone like Oingo or Josuke to change his facial structure, or some Mission Impossible face mask. Number 2, coercion. Joseph blackmails someone using the knowledge and evidence he's gathered. This has a better chance of working, but it's a matter of if we're giving that person immunity from the consequences after, or if we're gonna roll a good persuasion and intimidation check just to get them to still do it anyway. Another version of this would be finding a whistleblower or one of the victims willing to talk and getting the information from them too. Number 3, stand infiltration. This is when Joseph contacts another stand user to sneak in without physically being there. Joseph may be able to contact a stand user with a longer range that can infiltrate the premises without detection. I would have said Hierophant Green or Magician's Red, but that really depends on the timeline we're working with. And the final and most dangerous option, of course, is just going in balls blazing, full crazy style, and using brute force to take out anyone who stands in his way. I imagine he'd use Hermit Purple to disrupt like the cameras and security systems, so that's something. Even though this is the most fun option, he'd probably be identified, and now the Joestars and Speedwagon Foundation will be targets of the government. The last thing he would want to do is put his family in danger. So I imagine we probably wouldn't do this one, unless he kills every witness and erases all evidence. Now that he's got his hands on at least some of the physical Epstein files, all he has to do is use Hermit Purple to do some divination ghost magic and cast the truth of the paper onto a digital or physical medium to make an uncensored copy. In conclusion, can Joseph Joestar theoretically reveal the truth behind the Epstein files? Well, I say... Hold on a sec. There's a black Escalade outside of my house. Let me go see who this is.